Hey, this is In Your Neighborhood with NILES.
I turned on the radio. It was 91X.
Loudspeaker.
It was loudspeaker. It was Lou.
91X. It's 91X loudspeaker with NILES in your neighborhood. We're here with Bill PERRINE, the maker, creator, director, editor, writer of
financier
of It's Gonna Blow, a great movie about the San Diego music underground 1986 to 1996.
That's right, yeah.
I did 91X loudspeaker. I was the host from 1990 through into 96, but I was also part of loudspeaker from the very beginning when it became a show. And Marco Collins was the host in 1988 until 1990. So a lot of this stuff is really evident to me, so that's why I'll interrupt and interact here.
He's part of the film, yeah.
Yeah. So what inspired you to make this film, to start diving into this thing?
I mean, the music, was the starting point. I grew up in San Diego. I'm a native. I grew up with Stymie. Stymie was in Inch and Sub Society. We went to grade school together. I knew him since we were like 9 years old. And so it was interesting for me to watch like his transition from like teenage punk rocker to major label signee. He got signed to Atlantic Records. That was like, I still remember being in his car outside the Panic and where he worked in La Jolla and hearing the first Inch recordings, like sounding like big and rock starry.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it always surprised me that nobody had made a film about that period, because it's not only musically but just culturally such an interesting, like, rich time. There's so much there. So when I started making movies, it was just like, I figured I might as well be the one to do it. I'll take the heat because it's going to be a hard one to do.
What were like bands that you went, whoa?
My real entry, to the headhunter cargo scene was this thing here, really, which means that I was kind of a late bloomer. I knew Sub Society. I think I knew Fishwife, but when I heard this is where I really got into a lot of these bands. Rocket and Jehu. I liked Fishwife a lot. Crash Worship.
Where did you go see the bands? Were you like, I have to go see these bands?
The Casbah, and then also just weird places I don't even remember anymore. I remember seeing Inch at someplace downtown. It was like in a basement.
It could have been downstairs at Soma. There was a lot of places that came and went. San Diego authorities.
Yeah.
Where, there's a line and people are dressed weird, we're shutting it down.
San Diego was like Footloose.
Yeah.
It was like a small town. They were the minority, really, who would shut down shows and stuff like that. Otherwise, it was kind of like, oh, finally there's somebody doing something interesting. That's what was interesting to me, is a place like San Diego, which is kind of culture conservative, and a band like Crash Worship existed here.
Like Crash Worship and Diamanda Galas and people like that, people would say, well, no, they're from New York or LA, right?
Right.
No, they're not. They're from San Diego.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And that was a hard thing for me, is knowing where to stop.
Such a hard job to make this film, from Crash Worship to, Rocket from the Crypt, and being the more poppy end of it that actually had a success and got to tour and make it all happen.
They represent sort of the end point of the movie. It's where the scene changed and San Diego changed. To me, that's a big moment. To some degree, my decisions were made for me by the availability of archival footage. Some bands, there's not much footage of them.
I wish I would have had a camera back then,
There was a sense of almost curation back then. If you filmed something or you took photos, it's because it mattered to you.
I wanted to talk a little bit about where you've gone.
I went to DC, where I interviewed Ian MacKaye and Brendan Canty. And I went to New York, where I interviewed Gabe Voiles from Power Dresser, and Luke Jenner from The Rapture, up to Portland for the Trumans Water guys, the Brandstetter brothers. Also John Goff and Marcus from Crash Worship are both up there. Lots of people in LA, Aaron Montaigne, Mark Trombino. So yeah, I got around a bit. Probably other places too. I can't remember.
So again, this is It's Gonna Blow, documentary
three
film.
exclamation points I want to add. Everybody leaves out the exclamation
It's Gonna
point.
Blow!
There you
go.
Perfect.
So it's a movie by Bill PERRINE, and it's about the San Diego music underground 1986 to 1996.
That's right.
Which I'm super proud to be a part of.
Lou's a big part of it.
It's historical, factual, deep, but has an incredible number of comedic moments in it. So best place is Facebook.
Facebook/SD_music_doc.
'SD music doc. So check it out.
Bye.